to help make Christianity possible for my grandchildren and their generation. I want my 7 grandchildren, all under the age of 8, to be able to celebrate Easter for a lifetime. So if my grandchildren are to be able to embrace Easter with any kind of authentic faith when they're adults, I cannot afford to ignore their inevitable doubts, or try to strong-arm them into unquestioning certitude. In our secular age, that is a formula for atheism. Instead, I will do my best to nurture my grandchildren in the rich soil of historic Christian faith, a faith that in its healthiest forms has always been comfortable with mystery and nuance, metaphor and allegory, candid questions, and honest doubt. Because in the end, Christianity has suffered more casualties from faux faith than from honest doubt. In seeking to pass on Christian faith to my grandchildren, I am more interested in presenting them with a beautiful mystery than a collection of ironclad certitudes. If Jesus is presented as beautiful and mysterious as we find him in the Gospels, I'm willing to trust in that beauty to win hearts. I've heard it said that no one ever became a Christian because they lost an argument. I suspect that's true. I also suspect far more people than we imagine have become converts to Christianity for the simple reason that they were charmed by the beauty of Christ. I would much rather ground Christian faith on the beauty of Christ than on biblical literalism. Biblical literalism can be debunked by a college freshman, but the beauty of Christ can withstand every attack Nietzsche can muster. If I'm hedging my bets on the survival of Christian faith as we hurtle into a secular age, it's because the King of Hearts is still so beautiful. I'm willing to bet my grandchildren's faith on the beauty of Christ. And in my mission to help make Christianity possible for the generations that follow, I have a trusted and gifted ally in Austin Fischer. Faith in the Shadows is the kind of book that can give faith the space to flourish, not by beating back doubt through dogmatic argument, but by taking the terror out of doubt, by exposing it to the sunlight of honest reflection. Fischer's book bears the subtitle, Finding Christ in the Midst of Doubt. I like that. When we succumb to the dualism of Christ versus doubt, locked in a battle to the death, we are taking an unnecessary risk. It's enough to find the beauty of Christ in the dark night of doubt. I have sufficient faith to believe I don't have to dispel every doubt with a clever argument. It's enough to allow the beauty of Christ to shine in the midst of doubt. Fischer writes with a wonderful combination of keen intellect and unflinching honesty. He hits all the necessary topics, from fundamentalism to theodicy, while drawing on our best Christian thinkers, from Fyodor Dostoevsky to David Bentley Hart. But what Fischer does best is invite the reader into his own struggles with doubt, showing how he has been able to find Christ even in the midst of doubt. Ultimately, the hero of Fischer's book is not the brilliant Christian apologists, though we appreciate their fruitful labors, but the beauty of Christ's love that is the only credible answer to interrogations of doubt. As Fischer says, faith is not the absence of doubt. Faith is the presence of love. My only regret about Faith in the Shadows is that it wasn't written in time to be read by a Missouri pastor, struggling all alone with growing doubts. If it had, perhaps his faith could have survived to celebrate another Easter. Chapter 1. Graffiti. An Invitation to a Rebellion. Rembrandt's The Return of the Prodigal Son hangs on a wall in my office, and each day I sit opposite it and meditate on it. This ritual will sound familiar to those acquainted with the work of Henry Nouwen, because in The Return of the Prodigal Son, Nouwen recounts his journey with this painting, a window into the mysterious, redemptive way of God in the world. Art historian H.W. Jansen calls it a moment stretching into eternity. I agree. When I started following Christ, I saw myself in the prodigal, dressed in rags and tattered sandals.